There was once a fellow who was getting ready for Pesach and he needed money for the expenses. That's why it's called Pesach, because you have to pay a sach. And he was getting ready for, so he went to a local banker. He said, I want to borrow 200 rubles. 3 weeks, that's all I need. I said, sure, I can lend you the 300 rubles, but I don't know you. He said, no problem. My name is Pesach. You go to the next town over, everyone knows me there. Ask them about me. So he goes over to the next town, and this banker walks in and he says, knocks on the first door, and he sees people are cleaning for Pesach. They're scrubbing. What are you guys doing? What are you cleaning for? He says, what do you mean cleaning for? Pesach is coming. Interesting. Goes to the next house, and he asks them again, what are you guys cleaning about? He finds them schlepping and this. Pesach is coming. He says, listen, Pesach must be a very important person. He goes back and he lends him the money. Anyway, a few weeks go by, he doesn't show up. So he waits, and there's no money coming, there's no sign of him. So he goes back to this town and he says, what's the deal with Pesach? Pesach, it's gone. The next house, Pesach, over. Pesach, it's really over. He also fooled you, he also ran away from you. We're learning the halachas in Kittah Shulchan Aruch. We're in Siman Kuf Yud Aleph. We're going to go back to what we did yesterday because parts of the recording was not audible. And the review is always good. Sif Hey, talking about review is always good. Somebody once came to a big Rav once came to a tzaddik, and he asked him that he wants a bracha, that he shouldn't make a mistake when it comes to Shilas and Hilchos Pesach. His community is going to ask him different questions. He wants to make sure that he doesn't mess up. Chas v'shalom, give the wrong answer. You could cause someone to do the wrong thing on Pesach. So he told him that learn the halachas of Pesach well. Every sif in Shulchan Aruch wants to be learned. So if you learn it, then you know it. And if you don't learn it, then you'll have some kind of question that'll come up. You have to go look it up. And this way you'll end up learning it. So if you don't want any complicated questions, make sure you learn everything before. It'll cover you spiritually in advance. So we're doing a review. Tzrichin livdek, we have to search b'chol ha'mekaymes in all the places, the chayrin of his ducking, in the holes and in the slits, kol ma she'efshar, wherever is possible to reach, you have to look for. And also in your pockets, very often you have a coat that you wear once in a while, or your children's pockets, you don't know what's going on over there. You have to search in those places as well for chametz. You have to inspect them. You have to shake them out tomorrow, meaning the day before Pesach, the day of Pesach, to shake out any crumbs that may be inside the pockets. Very interesting halacha that even the rooms that you're actually selling tomorrow to a non-Jew, and you're not going to use them on Pesach, nonetheless, because you're not selling them until tomorrow, you should search in those rooms for chametz. Now, practically speaking, these days in the selling of the chametz, we're also renting out the room where the chametz goes, so we don't really inspect or search those rooms during B'dikas chametz. Zayin. This is a mitzvah, and therefore we make a bracha before we start searching for chametz. Okay, the Shemaschel Livdek, before he starts to search, Yivarech, he should make a bracha, Asher Kedishanu B'mitzvah al bir chametz. Now, technically, the word al bir chametz means to get rid of the chametz, to destroy the chametz. It doesn't mean to search for chametz. So why do we make a bracha to destroy and not to search? Even though now you're not yet getting rid of the chametz. Because right after the searching, you're going to nullify this chametz. That's the bir. Now, that's why we make a bracha. Now, you should not stop between the bracha and the beginning of the search. Like any mitzvah, you make a bracha before a mitzvah, you do the mitzvah right after the bracha. You don't speak in between, you don't do other things in between. Not only that, you shouldn't stop between the bracha and start of the mitzvah, but it's best not to speak at all until you finish searching for the chametz. Unless it's a technical reason, like pass the feather or the candle was extinguished, then you do it. Then you could speak. You could search several houses with the same bracha. Doesn't bring it here, but the way that it's the way we search for chametz, we use a candle mentioned earlier, we use a candle of beeswax. It's best to do that. If you don't have beeswax, use a regular candle. But you search by the light of a candle. And then the minhag is that we take a feather and a shovel, a spoon rather, and we push or sweep the pieces in. Yesh again, there's a minhag with the light on, but searching to the light of the candle. Yesh again, there's a minhag, and this is our custom. Before you search, you put pieces of bread in areas that the person that's looking will find it. So Pikabala, that Rizal brings, that you should put 10 pieces. Why do we put these pieces all together? Because we're concerned. You may not find anything. We'll say, and then you made a bracha, and the bracha is in vain. You have to find something. Shita, and obviously someone that's not searching appropriately is just doing it as a joke. Okay, let me find my 10 pieces and put it in. He doesn't actually look for chametz. You're just gathering these pieces. You did not fulfill this mitzvah of searching for chametz, and you did a bracha in vain. Chametz, you're searching for chametz on the night before Pesach. So you still have other chametz that tomorrow you're going to eat for breakfast, or you're going to sell to the guy. So with that, those chametz, you should put it before you start searching, put it away in a safe place. And also the chametz that you find, the 10 pieces and whatever else you came across in your search, you should put it away. Put it away in a safe place, and the bag should be tied. We're not just afraid of children taking it, but even mice or whatever else may come and get their hands on the chametz. So tie it. You should put it in a place that you'll actually see it tomorrow. You shouldn't forget to burn it. Out of Pesach, people get busy. The custom is to tie it with a red string and put it in a place that you'll notice it tomorrow. Maybe put it next to your phone. You'll for sure see it. After you search miyadi vatlenu, you should right away be mevatel the chametz. Now, bitul chametz is a very interesting concept in halacha. Technically speaking, you could get rid of your chametz by being mevatel it. Vatel means you sincerely feel, and we even declare it, that all the chametz that I own is null. It's nothing. It's as if it doesn't exist. Meaning anyone can come and take it. I'm disowning it. To me, it's like earth, like dust of the ground. The problem is, number one, I may not do it sincerely. I may say it or feel it, but in my mind, I'm thinking, hopefully nobody will take this because after Pesach, I'm going to enjoy this chametz. Or I may forget that I was mevatel it, or that because it's there, I may forget that it's Pesach, and by mistake, out of habit, you open the cupboard and you take something to eat. So therefore, we also search for chametz. We have to get rid of the chametz. We sell it or burn it, whatever. But we can't forget about this concept. There's certain chametz we may not have seen. Certain chametz may have forgotten about. So the main bittul, so therefore, after you search for chametz, you have to mevatel it. Now the main bittul is in your heart. Sheyigmar belibay. You should decide in your heart. Shekol chametz shever shosei. All chametz that's in my domain, it's as if it doesn't exist. It's considered nothing. It's like earth, dust, and there's no need. I have no need for it. And Chazal, our sages, have enacted that we should also verbalize this concept of nullifying the chametz, and you say kol chamira. It's in the Haggadah, it's also in the Siddur. Now, kol chamira is Aramaic, so he brings here that someone that doesn't know what it means, you don't understand saying, you should say it in a language that you do understand, because the point is that you're actually nullifying it. You're just saying words. You don't understand what you're saying. It doesn't have that impact. Yud Aleph. Even though you nullified the chametz at night after you searched, because you said kol chamira and you meant it. Nonetheless, in the morning after you burn the chametz, again you go and you mevatel the chametz, and you should include all the chametz there, kol chamira, and say it in Hebrew, in Aramaic, or any language that you understand. So we do it twice. We do it at night after b'dikas chametz, and we do it in the morning after bir chametz. We then discussed I'll just briefly say it regarding rooms in your house or on your property that you want to turn into storehouses, and you want to do this early on in the year. That you have to do an inspection before, because when it's filled with stuff, you can't actually do the bdikas chametz. Then there's various different scenarios, which doesn't really apply to most of us. But if you're turning a room into a storehouse, and depending what you're putting there, it could be product, it could become chametz, like wheat and other things. How do you deal with that? We won't get into all these things. Test valve. Food for animals, and it's a good opportunity to mention that when it comes to pets, if you have pets and you're giving them food, you cannot give them chametz on Pesach. And in certain cases, it's very difficult because the food that they use and the food that's available for them is actually chametz. You have to be very careful. But here he's saying that when it comes to the chicken coop, don't throw in kernels of wheat within 30 days before Pesach. Because Shama Yishkach Levada, you may forget to clean it out and to get rid of it. It's too close to Pesach, it's within the 30 days, it may not get consumed, one or two pieces get lost over there, and so on. What about someone that's traveling? Someone that's traveling, before he goes on his trip, imagine back in the day, you're going on a boat, a ship, it's Hanukkah time, you're going for months. Who knows when you're coming back? Overseas. So what you do is you appoint a messenger on your behalf that he should search for the chametz and be mevatel, nullify any chametz for you. The yemer lebefeirosh, you have to clearly tell him, I'm making you my messenger, my representative for this bedika and the bittul. And when the shliach does it, he says the chametz of so and so is now batel because I have power of attorney to nullify his chametz. Wherever he is, even if he's in a distant place, he should also, out of Pesach in the morning, be mevatel the chametz, which is in his domain. Chametz, not only can't you eat it, as mentioned, but you can own it. You can have it in your domain, in your house, in your property. What happens if on Pesach you found chas v'shalom chametz? What do? So he tells us like this: Matzah chametz v'veisei b'chol hamoed. If you found chametz in your house on chol hamoed, the intermediate days of Pesach, yeitziyai v'yisrifai, take it out and burn it. The mitzvah to burn chametz. V'yesh be'kazayis, and if it has the measurement of a kazayis chametz that you found, yivarech mitchila al bir chametz, make a bracha to get rid of the chametz. Aval pachas mikazayis, but if you found less than a kazayis, it's a very small amount of chametz, a crumb was somewhere you found, you don't make a bracha on it. This is if you found it on Chol HaMoed. But if you found chametz on Pesach itself, on Yontiv, or Shabbos of Chol HaMoed, and the same thing is Shabbos, Erev Pesach, which you can't do anything with it because it's muksa, it's something which you have no need for. It's actually forbidden. So on Shabbos, it's muksa, you can't touch it. Cover it with something so you don't see it till after Yontif, after Shabbos, and then you burn it. Now, if you found it on the last days of Pesach, so then after Mitzvah Yontif, it's already Pesach's over, so you burn it without a bracha. You burn it without a bracha. But if you found it on the first days of Pesach, then you go and you burn it after on Chol HaMoed with a bracha if it's more than a kazayis. A separate question is if you sold your chametz and you included all the chametz that was there, are you really finding chametz it's not yours or it's not even your chametz? And that it's yours or it doesn't even belong to you because you sold it. Okay. What chametz are you allowed to keep, what not? So we know that you can't eat chametz, you can't have chametz. But what types? So it's not just straight up chametz, but any chametz called davar sheyesh beit hareves chametz. It has a mixture of chametz in it. Okay, it's a product that has some chametz in it. You don't see real chametz. Maybe one of the ingredients it has a base or something which is chametz in the product. You don't even see it. It only has a taste of chametz. Again, sheisiru as chametz. They took off the chametz, for example. Nonetheless, you can't have that on Pesach. But if you have a food item which has no chametz in it. The only problem is you cooked it in a pot of chametz. I don't have an example as a practical case of that. Then even if that dish that you used was a ben yomai, which means it was used within 24 hours before you cooked this dish, you used it for chametz, it's still not a problem. You could own that item on chametz. You can't eat it, but you can have it on chametz. as long as you cooked it before Pesach. But if it was cooked or prepared on Pesach in a chametz stick vessel, then you have to get rid of it and so on. We use this opportunity to explain that the isser of chametz, we spoke about burning, you only make a bracha if you have a kazayas. But eating or having chametz, even a mashu is a problem, even a tiny drop is a problem. So the question becomes, if you cook something and you cooked it in a pot that was once used or even recently used for chametz, when you cook, some of the food that was inside gets into that item. But there's something that's called bottle. The amount is so little that if it's done before Pesach, when it's not prohibited yet to use chametz, it can become bottle. And it becomes nullified in the rest of the dish. So if it was cooked in a dish before Pesach, which was chametz, then now on Pesach you're fine because there's no real chametz in there. If it was done on Pesach, then you have to get rid of it, you have to burn it and so on. Yeah. Well, even if it's less than 24 hours, on Pesach there's no way around that. Because it has, hopefully you didn't use it for Pesach, for chametz in 24 hours, it's Pesach already. That what? A chametz stick pot that's not ben yoimai, you want to use on Pesach?
No, not you want, accidentally.
But yeah, then you can eat it.
Then it's okay.
How could it become bottle though? The whole thing of, and therefore what? Therefore you could eat it? Maybe you don't have to kasha the pot. Okay, if he says so, he says so.
Not me.
I'm saying if he says so, yeah. But are you sure that's what he says? So it's a machlekes. Okay, that's good. Today's learning was the Ili Nishmas, Rabbi Vadia ben Shalom, whose yahrzeit is tonight. Rabbi Avner, the learning is Ili Nishmas, Rabbi Vadia ben Shalom. He's going to stay on.